Hey, so a few months ago, a channel called The Fragrant Divide, the host of the channel, Kris, had tagged me in a video, a fragrance Q&A, and I was just watching Kris's video when we got to the end, and I heard my name pop up and was surprised, so that was kind of cool. If you haven't already seen any of his videos, I'm gonna post a link to his channel right down below, and I'd recommend starting with the one about American perfumery. I really enjoyed it. Question number 1, how did you get into perfume YouTube? That one's pretty easy. This is a topic that I could talk about kind of all day, and sometimes I do in real life. So I figured, I've got a decent collection. This is a topic of conversation that I enjoy. Why not just set up the camera and use what I have around the house? And I thought that it could be fun. And so far it's been all right. Question number 2, who was the first fragrance YouTube channel you started watching? So this one I don't have an easy answer for because I had been looking into Ciara. So I took a look at a couple of YouTube videos and I opened them up in like separate tabs. And I remember that I had watched the video by Lanier Smith, his review of Ciara, and I had also watched the video by Sheba Lifts. So I kind of had them open at the same time, and I don't remember whose I watched first. So I guess you could just kind of say that that I had a three-way with Lanier Smith and Sheba Lifts. And there you go. That's the name of this video. Question number 3, who influences you the most? That's pretty easy. That's me. Other people can make suggestions, other people can give me compliments, other people can insult me. I think that's great, that's cute, whatever. But the thing that matters the most to me is my own opinion of whatever it is that I'm smelling. Like, I have a pretty grounded sense of taste and sense of self. So if I love something, I'm going to own it wholeheartedly. And if I don't, you'll know. Question number 4, whose taste is most similar to yours? Nobody. And you know what? I don't seek out people who have a similar taste to mine. I don't need that. That's okay. It's okay if people have a difference of opinion. It's okay if you like things that don't work for me. And it's totally fine with me if I dislike things that work well for you. That doesn't change my opinion of you. That just means we have a difference of opinion on a thing. I've got friends in the community who have a lot of overlap with my own opinions, but nobody that I know of that lines up 100%. And I'm never going to meet anybody that has that opinion that lines up 100%. It's not gonna happen, and that's okay. I'm actually thinking about making a completely separate video just on that topic. So I'll come back to this in the future. I've got some stuff to say. Question number 5, when did you start wearing fragrances and what did you wear growing up? The very first thing that I ever wore, I can remember pretty clearly. It was CK1 and it was back in middle school. After that there was Gap Blue number 655 for him. But this was back in the day, so this was in the matte silver bottle. I had Drakkar Noir, I had Kenneth Cole New York. So here's the thing, I was one of the kids who was picked on the most in school. I was bullied pretty badly. I was voted one of the ugliest people in high school. Not that did any damage. I certainly don't think about that on a daily basis. No, not at all. So when I would get something like a positive reaction from somebody anywhere around me about anything, it was like a breath of fresh air. It was something that I was so unaccustomed to that it was a real treat. So when I first started to wear any kind of fragrances, that was some much needed relief from constant social threat. So I appreciated that. Question number 6. Do you wear fragrances to bed? No, not really. By that I mean I don't put on something specifically for going to bed, and I usually don't spray any more of whatever I'm wearing after like 8 or 8:30, because I'm old. I'm not going to be up that much longer. And like, what am I going to be doing? Where am I going to be going? I have like no friends. So if it's just like a regular day, I'm not going to wear something else specifically just for going to sleep. Like that just, I mean, that's fine if you like doing that, but, so technically, I've still got something on when I go to sleep, but I'm not throwing anything on specifically for like, this is my getting ready for bed fragrance. Nah, I don't need that. Question number 7. If you could only keep 3 fragrances without thinking too much, which 3 would you keep? I like so many. I've got a list of my favorites, but it's a list of like 25. So it gets really hard to think like, what would you pick if you only had 3 or 5 or whatever? But okay, so going with the question, if I had to pick like 3, I'm probably gonna go with the original Daringly Different. It was a tribute fragrance for Deanna Vreeland. I love the scent. It's like my favorite smelling fragrance in my collection so far, even though its projection isn't that great. I would take Dior Pour Homme Parfum because it's so good. And then it's like a tie between Shalimar Eau de Parfum, because Shalimar was a revelation for me. It was a big breakthrough when I smelled it, and B by Zoologist. They're both neck and neck. It's up in the air. I love them both. So there you go. 4 is the best I can get. Question number 8. What is the worst fragrance that you have ever worn, smelled, or purchased? This one's really easy. I know immediately what it is, and I knew about the reputation of this one going in. I had seen a video by Ouch110 about Sombre, and it's one of those things where it's like a morbid curiosity sort of thing, and I just got this like tiny little like sample vial, and I remember that I didn't even want to open it in the house, so I just kind of like opened it between the mailbox and getting back into the house, so like if it was that offensively bad, I could just be like, be gone, and it would never be inside of my home. And that was the situation. It was not for me. Here's a side note, okay? The perfumer, Prin, I have all the respect in the world for you. I think that's great. I think that's wonderful. You're an artist. That's brilliant. Is this specific fragrance something that I would ever want to wear? No. Woo! Oh, it's an experience. It's not one that I want to have again. Question number 9. Do you like blind buying? Why or why not? If you're just somebody who's like looking for something nice to wear as like a day-to-day fragrance, if you're looking for a signature scent, do I recommend blind buying for you? No, I recommend sampling until you find something that's right for you. If you are, again, a fragrance enthusiast and you're kind of a nut about it and you just want to experience everything in creation, then, by all means, if it's within your budget, if you don't mind the occasional flop, that's great for you. I've already got a sizable enough collection. So unless it's like super cheapy, and it's going to be, if it's not going to make sense to sample first, like if a full bottle costs nearly as much as the sample, why would I even bother sampling? But if it's for something that's going to be like, let's say $200, $400, you better goddamn well believe that I'm gonna order a sample first, because I am broke. I can't just afford to drop that kind of money on a bottle that could be a miss. That. Again, as a caveat, if I take a look at the notes breakdown on something, I can usually gauge fairly well if I'm gonna dig it or not. So if it's something that I can tell is like that I'm really gonna gravitate towards, I might do it. But I'm comfortable with the loss if I fuck it up and if it's not too pricey. Question number 10. What are your top 5 fragrance notes? It's difficult to answer because the answer is it's all about context. It's all about the concentration in which they're used. It's all about the other notes that are being utilized. It's all about the balance of perfumer's alcohol versus aroma chemicals. It's about a lot of different things. So talking about notes in isolation, that's nice, that's cute, but it's not the full picture. However, I do still have some that are my favorites, and you know, when I see them, I'm gonna go like, oh hey, hi. Number 1, honey. I love a good honey note. I like something deep, rich, golden, smoky honey. I love that. Number 2, almond. I enjoy all of the facets of almond, but whether it's a wood or nut meats, I appreciate almond. I just really like saying nut meats. Number 3, I enjoy civet. You might have noticed. It adds something unique to a composition, and it can take something that would otherwise be a linear floral, you know, something that's nice enough, but just sort of pretty, and give it some dirty, sexy depth. Note number 4, this one's a difficult one. Carnation. Because I love carnation, but sometimes it's hard for me to like mentally pick it apart from like what is carnation and what is clove. And that might sound really stupid and naive, but it's just the way that my nose and my brain work. The two of them smell very close to one another. Carnation smells very close to that like warm, spicy, I love the smell of clove, but carnation has this like green snap to it, and I just love it. I love carnation. And I know this might seem like basic Becky bullshit, but I appreciate vanilla. Again, just like honey, it's something that's used to sweeten up a fragrance, but it doesn't need to be boring. Vanilla, especially when it's something like Mexican vanilla, especially when it's something that is smokier, or when it's paired with something that gives it smoky depth, it can be brilliant. And I love what it can do. Oh my god. One of my lights just done burned out on me. What the fuck? I'm gonna have to... What just happened? No idea what happened there, but I totally lost the flow. Okay. That was fun. Right in the middle of going on and on about vanilla, one by one, all of my lights decided to die on me. So, fixed it. Anyway, the flow is thoroughly broken. Let's just say vanilla and move on. Question number 11, what are your least favorite fragrance notes? This is something that I can speak definitively on, because sometimes no matter what else they're involved in, these just do not work for me at all. First one that comes to mind, anything that's strongly ozonic. If I get a strong whiff of ozone, to me it just smells like somebody put metal into a microwave, or a firework just went off. It kind of sets me on edge, and it's a lot a bit disgusting to me. I'm not a fan of banana in fragrances. It just, banana notes usually come across to me like that artificial tang of banana runts. If you've ever, like, do you know what I'm talking about? The way that the candies sort of taste approximately like banana, but they taste more like you're eating a banana peel than the banana fruit, if you will. Cotton candy. I loathe the smell of cotton candy. There's only one fragrance that I can think of in my collection that utilizes it in a way that I enjoy, and that's Ragba, and all the rest of it can just f*** off. Cotton candy does not agree with me. Old schooly aldehydes, anything from a fragrance from like the 1950s, 1960s that lean into aldehydes. I get it. Like, there's a lot of different aldehydes, there's a lot of different ways that you can use them, blah, blah, blah. But you probably know what I'm talking about. And I don't like it. I don't like them. I don't like them. They give me a headache. And hyacinth. Hyacinth is tough. Unless hyacinth is just kind of buried in a tremendous bouquet, like an entire car full of flora, I don't like it. Because when hyacinth starts to burn down on my skin, it turns into moistened cardboard. And I don't want to smell like that, thank you. I don't want to smell like a FedEx package that's been left out in the rain. Question number 12. If you could bring back any discontinued fragrance or undo a reformulation, which would it be? I almost wrote down Van Cleef & Arpels Midnight in Paris, but I had to lean with one of my top 3. And before you begin, because I know that there's going to be people out there who are going to say like, Dior Homme Parfum is, there are people who always chime in with like, oh well, it's still in production and you can still get it in Jakarta. That's adorable for all of the people who are in Jakarta. I'm not, so that doesn't apply to me. I think it's great that you can still get it if you're in like Denmark or Uzbekistan, but I'm not there. I'm in the United States and it's really hard to come by here. It seems like it's discontinued if it's not severely limited, so I'd like to be able to get my hands on it more easily because it's gorgeous and I love it. And I don't want to pay some exorbitant, crazy-ass price for something that I don't even know is legitimate. So I'd like to be able to buy it just normal style. I'd like it to be more available. Thank you. Question number 13. Do you have a signature scent? No. I enjoy variety and I like to change it up. I like to wear something slightly different every day. Trying out something new for whatever suits my mood of that day or my needs of what the day are, the way the weather is, whatever. So, do I have anything against having a signature scent? No. I think that's great. If you found one and only one that speaks to you, wonderful. Question number 14. What is the best fragrance on the opposite sex? I'm going to start my answer with something that might seem kind of jerky, but it's a question in response to a question. What do you mean, the opposite sex? There are 6 most common genotypic sexes in humanity. You've got XX females, single X females, triple X females, XY males, XXY males, and XYY males. And if you think that I'm making that up, open up a book. Take a look. No, seriously, take a look. Prove me wrong. And on top of that, you've got things like gender identity, gender expression. Don't make me bust out the Judith Butler on your ass, because I'll do it. There's so many facets to sex and gender that it's really difficult to say what is even the opposite sex to begin with, let alone trying to say what's going to be best for that person. You know what I have to say about that? What I have to say about that is you get to decide for yourself. You get to dictate your own taste. I have no right to tell you. I want you to go on your own fragrance journey. I want you to figure that out for yourself and embrace what it is that you love. You get to decide. It's such freedom. Enjoy it. Don't look to anybody to give you all the answers. If somebody comes along trying to tell you that they know exactly what's best for you without doing the obvious thing, which is like to ask or to get to know you better, then they're full of shit and you don't have to listen to them. So I hope that you enjoy your journey out in the world, your own fragrance journey. And I'm not really good at this tagging people thing. I don't want to get into something exclusive and leave people out or anything. I don't like that. That's not who I am. So if you're watching this video, if you manage to last all the way up until the end, then consider yourself tagged if you want to. You want to make a video responding to this? Great, good. Do it. Blame me. And if you don't, if the idea of that seems like homework to you, then cool. I absolve you of the responsibility of doing it. I'm not going to saddle you with a task that you don't want. But I wanted to say thank you again to Kris at The Fragrant Divide because that was really cool. I just really appreciate it. So thank you. And to you, thank you. I love you. Thank you for watching. Have fun out there in your life, and take care along your own fragrance journey. I love you. Have fun out there, and goodbye. Of course, like right as soon as you start recording, the dogs start barking, and then the dumpster stuff is going on. Yeah, of course. Great, thanks.